You know, most people ask me like, why you always say like you're gonna win it? And I will tell you over and over, I will win it. But if I fail, let it be, always next year. I grew up in Vietnam. I grew up in a hard time, in a very poor country. My mom, my dad, they getting old, they can't make any more money, and I want to help them out.
So Scotty went to help his family in the only way he knew how.
See, I played poker when I was 7. Street, baby. If I want those pair of shoes on that kid, I ask him to play poker with me. I win the shoes. I win the shirt. I win, you know, my mom, my dad stopped worrying about me. We heard about Vegas in Vietnam. I came here. I'm a busboy. I'm working so hard, and every day, I don't go straight home. I go straight to the poker room and watch people play.
And now after 10 years of playing professional poker, Scotty has made it to more final tables and more tournaments than any other player. With career earnings topping $2 million, Scotty does indeed know how to win.
It don't matter where you put me. Some way, somehow, Scotty come through it, you know?
Scotty Wynn is starting to feel a little confidence.
Vince, I'm amazed we played this long without losing a player, quite frankly. Chris Bigler's playing very tight and snug. Scotty has gotten his composure back. John Uwanda has been a very conservative player. He's sitting back waiting to see what happens. And Freddie Deeb is capable of making some moves, as we've seen. Hansen is the most aggressive player at the table, but now Hennigan, that's got some chips, he's also being aggressive. Here the action is on John Hennigan. Now, he just has an 8-3 of hearts, but look at this. He's raising with it, Vince.
Well, look at this. Scotty has a real hand, a pair of tens wired.
Scotty calls.
Scotty has called 40,000.
Gus has raised.
Look at this. Gus Hansen has picked a big slick, an ace-king in his hand. Very strong hand.
$150,000, $110,000 raise.
And he's coming over the top for $150,000. Look at Scotty calling his chips off. He's a short stack in the tournament. I'm looking for him to make a stand here with these 2 tens.
Scotty calls $110,000 raise.
Scotty's calling it.
Sure enough. He calls the $150,000. He's saving a few chips. I don't know why. He's just only got about $30,000, $40,000 left. And the flop comes 5-6, jack of hearts.
That's a $400,000 pot.
Scotty Wynn moves in quickly.
Scotty's moving all in.
He has 2 tens with the 10 of hearts, giving him a flush draw. And here comes Gus. He's going to call this, obviously. He's got ace-king with the king of hearts.
He's got pocket tens. Gus has ace-king with 1 heart.
Scotty still has to dodge an ace or a king or a heart. If he doesn't, he's out of this tournament.
This is going to put the champion from Vietnam on the ropes. Can he hang in there?
Welcome back. We're back to the action. Scotty's got 2 tens with the king of hearts. As we know, Gus Hansen has ace-king with the king of hearts. Scotty has the best hand right now. Gus is going to need an ace or a king. 4th Street is the ace of hearts. Scotty Wynn is drawing dead.
Scotty Wynn becomes our 6th place finisher.
Look at him. He's walking away. What a tough beat.
Right on 4th Street, Gus Hansen made the nuts. He made the very best hand that you could possibly have at that stage. Scotty Wynn was drawing dead after that.
Scotty Wynn gets beat by a higher flush. A class gentleman, and look at him shaking hands, but he's absolutely sick about this.
No question he's disappointed in 6th place. Scotty Wynn, one of the greatest poker players in the world today, former world champion. And you can bet that all these guys are thrilled that the guy with the most experience, by far the most titles under his belt, is out of this event. He takes home a little bit over $48,000.
Well, we couldn't have asked for better hosts here at the tournament.
Well, you're right, Vince. The Bellagio is quite a place, and they certainly have treated the poker players like royalty all week.
Absolutely. And once again, our intrepid host, Shauna, had the tough assignment of showing us around.
Yeah, she really did. Shauna?
Boasting the hottest poker room in Vegas and a 5-diamond resort property, Bellagio is chosen as the perfect launching pad for the World Poker Tour. Players spent the first 4 days playing beneath Italian frescoes and dining on food prepared by the best chefs in the world. And if Lady Luck defied them at the tables, their punishment was to explore one of the hottest properties on the Las Vegas Strip. Breathtaking art and shows, endless pools and high-end shopping, and fountains that leave the visitor awestruck. Bellagio has reinvented old world class in this desert oasis. On the 5th day of the tournament, play has moved into the opulent Bellagio ballroom to accommodate the World Poker Tour arena and the overflowing Bellagio audience.
How come she gets to have all the fun, Vince?
Take a good look in the mirror, Mike.
You got a good point there. Let's get back to the action. Well, that was quite a pot Gus Hansen just won. He had the ace-king. Had Scotty moved all in with his 2 10s over the top of Gus Hansen. The question is, would Gus have called $230,000 with the ace-king offsuit? That's the $64,000 question that we don't know the answer to.
We'll never know for sure now, but you see, look at these guys, they're all happy. You know, it's like a bunch of sharks around. They know that one of them is down, and now there's only 5 of them. They're all kind of smiling.
No question about it. They all move up in the money, and they got rid of the former world champion, the most experienced player. Chris Bigler's going to be the first to speak here.
Rightfully so. Look what he has there. A pair of queens.
Chris is going to bet all in.
He's moved all in with his 2 queens, $157,000.
Johnny Wanda has a pretty good hand, too, normally speaking. King, queen of hearts, but he's got to consider who he's playing against.
And he wisely folded against this man. Now look at Hennigan. Now Hennigan's been on a good roll.
Right.
He's got an ace-queen offsuit.
John Hennigan calls him.
I'm not sure I like this call against this guy. In other words, he's been on a roll. He's running good. He's feeling good. But Bigler hasn't played a pot in a long, long time. He's just a rock. I'm not sure calling 157K cold in this hand with an ace-queen is a good idea at all.
Of course, he knows if he beats him and he outdraws him here, that he gets him out of the tournament. He gets Bigler out of the tournament. So that's tempting.
Flop comes 6, 3, 3, 2 diamonds.
John Hennigan has ace-queen. Chris Bigler has 2 queens.
And there's a king.
John Hennigan now needs an ace, or Chris Bigler will double up.
It's a 4. The 2 queens are going to hold up. Chris Bigler has doubled up.
And Chris Bigler has doubled up. Now here's a hand I think Hennigan made a mistake.
Look at that sigh of relief. Chris Bigler excited. He waited very patiently for that pair of queens, and it did pay off.
The blinds are $10,000 and $20,000, and we're playing with a $2,000 ante. That means it costs $40,000 to play 1 round of poker.
Yeah, it starts pushing it up. Makes them make decisions a little bit faster here, right?
5 players left. The action will be on Kasim Deeb.
Kasim opens the pot for $75,000.
He opens the pot for $75,000.
Chris folds.
Bigler folds. Iwanda folds. Hennigan folds. Back to his man, Hansen.
Hansen with a junk hand, 3-5 offsuit.
He's got nothing, but he's taking his time now. This is interesting to me.
Well, the rivalry is so great. They've both been bluffing each other. They don't know. So maybe he's going to come back and raise him, or maybe he's just going to get out.
No, he decides to give it up wisely. So Kasim Deeb puts another $40,000 in the stack. He's on the comeback trail.
Gus Hansen and Kasim Deeb are 2 poker players with 2 very different approaches to the game.
I have a very aggressive style.
To be a winning player, you have to have good discipline. You have to be able to evaluate every hand, every player.
I'm not going to sit down and make a plan up to the final table. I mean, some guys are likely to call me, and some guys are scared.
The 28-year-old Hansen is a relative newcomer to poker, and the Bellagio is his first ever final table.
I like to beat the other guy.
Kasim, on the other hand, has been a high-stakes regular at the Bellagio for years, although that's not what he tells his parents.
I tell them investments, which is true. I invest, but they don't know in what.
But after the cards are dealt, players put their tactics to the test.
Well, I started out the day with $460,000, and I played a hand against Gus. I overplayed my hand, and I lost like $350,000. when that happens to you, sometimes you don't play so comfortable.
In almost any gambler's career, he's gonna go broke.
I try to play 100%. You know, try to make as less mistakes as I can.
Not saying that I'm a great player or anything, but I mean, I guess somebody has to win.
Gus inherits the butt in this hand. Yuanda's first to speak, and he folds. Hennigan limps in with the Queen 9 of diamonds for 20,000. Gus Hansen calls the 20,000. Deeb calls 10 more thousand. Look at this. We got a four-way pot out of 5 players. Here comes the flop. 9-7-4 with 2 spades. Man. We're going to see some fireworks here. You can buckle up here on this flop.
2 players have flopped 2 pair each. Chris thinking that he has the better. He says 7s and 4s. Not as good as Gus Hansen with 9s and 7s.
$45,000 bet by John Hennigan.
Now Gus Hansen, who's flopped the top 2 pair here, is certainly going to play this pot. Now look at Bigler on the other hand. We know Bigler's flopped 2 pair. He's watching this action intently because he knows he's going to play this hand too. Gus just calls.
Kasim folds.
Gus just calls the 45,000. Bigler's going to make a play here. There's no way that he can throw this hand away.
Gus did a little Marlon Brando there. He's just playing. It's so cool. Look at him.
Now this is an amazing hand here for Chris Bigler.
What do? You have 2 pair on the flop.
Getting his chips is like pulling hen's teeth. And all of a sudden in the big blind, he's got trap with a hand. I don't see how he's going to get away from it. Here he goes. Look.
Moves all in.
He's moved all in over the top of the raise and the caller.
I call.
John Hennigan calls.
Whoa.
That's kind of surprising.
Look at this. John Hennigan's calling us about 250,000. And now look at Gus. Gus rocks back in his chair.
Gus is not just thinking about Chris Bigler. He's thinking about how he's going to suck John Hennigan after with the side pot, perhaps.
Well, he can't play around now. They've just put $500,000 in the pot. I don't see how he can just call this. If a guy's got a flush draw, you can't let him draw for nothing. I mean, the only way he can get beat is somebody's got a set. I mean, Gus is going to play this hand. $200,000 raise by Bigler. Hennigan calls him.
It's up to Gus.
And look at Gus. He keeps glancing over.
I'm all in.
He goes all in. He's moved over the top of both of them. Look at this hand.
This is the time to do that.